ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's. A beautiful evening from Alabama's capital city, Montgomery, as Alcorn State comes to town into the Hornets' nest to take on Alabama State. Trying to pick up a road win are the Braves. We say hello and welcome inside Tiffany Green with the former Howard University and NFL quarterback Jay Walker. Now, we've seen Alcorn State really dominate the SWAC East the last 3 years. They're trying to get back to a SWAC championship and hopefully for them the Celebration Bowl. And the guy to lead the way is a stellar running back in DeLance Turner.
A healthy DeLance Turner playing running back for a healthy Alcorn State squad, something they did not have a season ago. Turner's the guy that really makes this offense go. When Alcorn's in control, they're controlling the line of scrimmage, and Turner is a pounding running back. He's already rushed for over 200 yards in a game this season. Look for him to continue those ways if Alcorn wants to keep going in the right direction under head coach Fred McNair.
Turner is the SWAC's leading rusher. On the other side, for Alabama State, they've had some shakeup at the top, and for third-year head coach Brian Jenkins, he's gotten off to an 0-4 start. Is he on the hot seat?
I think every coach is always on the hot seat, but how do you define hot seat in this case? And I think, without question, this is the most pressure the head coach Brian Jenkins has coached the football game here at Alabama State. After last week's loss at home, getting shut out by Prairie View, he came in here with high expectations. He dominated when he was at Bethune-Cookman. Hasn't come close to matching that success here in Montgomery. These fans expect a lot. They have the best facilities in all of FCS football. They want to have the best football team in all of FCS football as well.
Well, Fred McNair on the sidelines. He's spent 6 seasons with the program, second year as head coach, and he's got his group out of Lorman, as you mentioned, Jay, healthy and ready to go. They are coming off an important win last week against Texas Southern, 24-17.
And what a good job he's done replacing Jay Hobson. No easy task. The team was banged up last year, but now you're starting to see Alcorn State look like that team that was perennial contenders in the SWAC East Division. And every time you say Fred McNair and Alcorn, you have to say yes. Fred McNair, Steve McNair's older brother. Rest in peace, Steve McNair.
And he likes to also mention that he is the original Aaron McNair. As ASU wins the toss, they will defer to the second half, so Alcorn State will receive. Trevor Vincent back to kick it off. P.J. Simmons fields it, bobbles it, and finally able to pick it up just around the 5-yard line and met by a few black jerseys, so not the starting field position that Alcorn State wanted.
And a week ago, Alcorn State took on Texas Southern, struggled versus Texas Southern. The team was lackadaisical, didn't pay attention to detail. They thought they would have got the message and expected to come out here and play a much better game they did a week ago. Not off to a good start in special teams. Lenoris
Footman, the senior quarterback out of Monticello, Florida, graduated in May with a criminal justice degree. He leads this squad. He's put in a ton of work, and really, since he's taken over this offense back in 2015, he's led the way and gotten better and better each year. We've seen his progression, Jay. Back in the shotgun. And He keeps it right up the middle, and he's had plenty of room to run. A big gain for Lenoris Footman.
How does that happen? You know this is a run-pass option team. Zone read, look at the overflow, huge hole for Footman to get through. That's not the start you want up front for Alabama State.
16-yard gain, sets up 1st and 10. He flanks it out to one of his favorite receivers, Norlando Veals. Veals pushed out of bounds by Ronnie Scott. Pickup of 6.
And what I say it's so surprising because when you scout Alcorn State, you say they're going to run the zone read. And they come out, run zone read first play, and pick up a first down with the quarterback keep. They've got to know that early on.
Quick tempo, keeping it going, is Footman once again to Veals. Veals, good enough for a first down. The leading receiver for the Braves, the 5th-year senior out of Brookhaven, Mississippi. Alcorn State 3-2 on the year, undefeated in the SWAC. The handoff to Turner, and Turner finds daylight, trucks over the defender, puts him back on his back, and DeLance Turner, again, another big gain, this time 17 yards. So the ground game working thus far.
Yeah, zone read. Watch the one cut in the vision by Turner. He recognizes there's over-penetration to the outside, takes one hard cut, gets upfield in a hurry.
Play action.
Got him.
Footman sees Tavares Johnson and just overthrows him. Had one-on-one coverage on the outside and just overthrown Jeffrey Hill on the coverage.
And Footman's mad at himself because he went the right place with the football, had your speed to the receiver, and Tavares Johnson one-on-one. Johnson flew by the defensive back, but Footman threw the ball out of bounds. Sidelines don't miss balls, so you got to keep the ball in play, give him a chance.
That sets up 2nd and 10 for the Braves right at midfield. And Footman keeps it once again, tucks and runs, and he's got a path to the end zone, shakes a couple of defenders, and he's in there.
Wow.
Touchdown Braves, 50-yard scamper from Lenoris Footman.
What happens when you make a bad throw? You come out with an even better run. Lenoris Footman, what a dual threat quarterback he can be. Great choice on the zone read. Then watch the athleticism from the quarterback position, weaving throughout the Alabama State defenders, and he would not be denied. Great balance. Way to finish off a run by Lenoris Footman.
6 plays, 94 yards, less than 2 minutes on the opening drive for the Braves. Corey McCullough on for the extra point. Welcome back to Montgomery, Alabama, and certainly Alcorn State making quick work of Alabama State on that first drive. Very efficient under Fred McNair, eh?
That was impressive. Come on the road, set the tempo. They went 6 plays, 94 yards, averaged 15.5 yards per play. I think the Braves got the message from a week ago when they played down to the level of Texas Southern, coming in here on the road, establishing, control the line of scrimmage with big plays.
Corey McCullough on the kickoff, back to receive Ezra Gay and Marquez Spencer. Alabama State searching for their first win of the season. Mishandled there, so we've seen a couple of mishandled snaps, and right there are the Braves in on the tackle. Several defenders, including Terrell Gray.
Poor special teams play by Alabama State, matching what Alcorn State did, but Alcorn was able to go 94 yards and pick up the yardage that they gave away on special teams. Let's see what Alabama State can do. And it all starts with the quarterback position.
Well, Alabama State going with Darrell Pearson, a redshirt freshman, a lefty out of Suwanee, Georgia, transferred in from Arkansas State. We've seen Kobe Jones kind of get most of the reps in the starting role, but here Brian Jenkins with a change.
Well, he's sticking to the style. He came in here using multiple quarterbacks, and he's still going with multiple quarterbacks. That's who he is. No surprise at all when they decided to go with Darrell Pearson, when we were thinking all week long it would be Kobe Jones. Asked offensive coordinator Don Hill, assistant head coach, what do we see out of Darrell Pearson? He said he can run the ball a little bit more, simplify the running game, but we really like getting him on the perimeter and attacking in the running game.
And he's a guy who came into camp and really competed with Jones. Jenkins felt like at the beginning of the season either one of them could start. Pearson's number is called. The completion, a 1-yard gain to Ezra Gray.
And this is a tough task for any defense because Alcorn, more than any other school in the SWAC, throws more unorthodox defensive fronts than you'll see. They'll have times where they won't have one defensive lineman getting a 3-point stance. They'll rush 2, they'll rush 1. You don't see where it's coming from. Like right now, look at everybody standing up, not letting you get a read. A bunch of linebackers. I only see 2 potential defensive linemen in there. As a freshman quarterback, he doesn't know what he's looking at right now. That's that stand-up pass rush. They're just trying to see if they can make a mental mistake, overloading one side.
Gray in motion with 1 second to go on the shot clock, thinking about releasing it, holds on to it, lets it go, finds his intended target, and Wallace Corker, and what a catch by the true freshman.
Showing it's coming back. If they review that, that ball was assisted by the ground. Corker did make that catch, but I don't think we're going to see a challenge, so the play's going to stand. Spoke too soon. Looked like he made a catch, but first sight.
And Eddie Kelly, tonight's referee, so they will take a peek at that one. But still, good presence from Pearson to escape the pocket and make the throw. Just didn't come up with the catch. Perhaps it was ruled a catch on the field. They're reviewing it now.
It showed athleticism. You're making a defensive lineman miss, and Ramonte Bell, who's a good one, and then found the receiver open. The receiver has to hold on to that ball, but you can see clearly used the ground to help pin that ball against the shoulder pads. And that's one of the things you have to give credit to the SWAC as a whole, where their televised games, they utilize instant replay. The rest of FCS landscape doesn't do it on all the games. They only do it when you get to the playoffs. But hats off to the commissioner of the SWAC for saying we've got the equipment there and the technology to do it. We'll review the plays. Let's make sure we get it right. Do you think that was a catch?
At first I did, but when I went back and looked at it, I think just as he was coming down, the ball may have popped loose.
One thing Gerald Pierce is going to have to learn, you can make the first guy miss, but the second one's going to get to you. So you don't make a living running around sideways in today's college football.
So there has been indisputable evidence to overturn the call. Again, it was ruled a completion on the field. And I don't know if this is going to stand. This
should be a quick one.
Yeah.
This one you almost start to think, what are we looking for? Maybe they're trying to get the numbers in terms of where to spot the ball again. But that was pretty clear to me that he did not catch that ball clean and use the ball, the ground to trap it.
Good effort there by Wallace Corker. And we'll have the call from Eddie Kelly.
It was not a catch. Pass is incomplete. It'll be 4th down on the 14-yard line. Mr. Clock operator, please put 11:42 on the clock. 11:42.
So it was overturned, ruled an incompletion, so a 3-and-out to start for Alabama State.
And they're going to punt the ball back, and Alcorn State looking to get the football back in pretty good field position. And when you get off to a slow start, you just don't catch the brakes. Play like that really could have given you great field position on your first possession. Come up just a little bit short. Now you're punting the ball away.
After the incompletion, it's 4th and 6 from 14.
So Brian Jenkins' group couldn't get a break. Marquise Wolford, who's been banged up for the Braves, back to receive the punt. And Trevor Vincent standing in his own end zone, averaging just about 40 yards a punt. Wolford just so dangerous back there, but an excellent kick from Vincent, continuing to take a Hornets bounce. 68 yards.
Take a look at the last drive from Alcorn State. They did it every way you could do it. First play of the game, the Norris Footman finds a crease. Then they're able to get the ball out to the wide receiver on this drive, which was so impressive. Where they averaged over 15 yards per carry. And at the end of the day, quarterback that can run is a defense's worst nightmare. The Norris Footman kicks it off with a 50-yard scamper.
Picked up 66 yards on that last drive on the ground, 11 in the air, and what's been so good to see for Footman is his progression as a passer. So he's relied more so of staying in the pocket, delivering the football, as opposed to trying to make plays with his feet.
And that's a good point you bring up on Footman, because I remember once upon a time when he was a 45% passer. But this year, his senior season, the game slowed down. He's throwing at 61% completion rate, which is very efficient. This is a Fred Keiss offense that requires the quarterback to do a lot of different things. You can't be quite a pocket passer. You can't be a scrambling passer. You have to play within the system. And for his senior season, Footman seems to be playing like he's in complete control.
He keeps it.
Until he does that.
Yeah. brought down by Jarkeith Ruffin.
And when you watch Footman on film, he plays very well when he's in the system. When he gets outside the system, Coach Kai says it drives me crazy. That was a play there. Give the ball to your runner. He tried to do too much, lost a couple yards.
So 8 starters return on offense. Ruffin with the tackle for a loss. That brings up 3rd and 10 for the Braves.
They like to get the ball to Marquise Wolford, number 10 in these situations on 3rd down.
1 receiver at the top of your screen, 3 to the bottom. Footman back in the pocket. 1-on-1 coverage on the outside, just overthrows this man, nothing there. So coming up empty on that possession after starting out quickly. And the Braves will punt it away.
And what a great job by Alabama State defensively in the special teams. They were pinned up against their back against the walls. Great kick on special teams. Now they have a great opportunity to shift the battle of field position and maybe help jumpstart this offense.
They can flip the field and find themselves in a good position. Corey McCullough back to kick it away. This one too, a good boot. Palmer Graham lets it roll out of bounds. So the 54-yard punt, and Alabama State will start with it when you come back. Beautiful blood moon overlooking Montgomery as Alcorn State on top, 7-0. Now let's take a look at the suite level here at the new ASU Stadium with tonight's AT&T Field Pass. This is one of the state-of-the-art facilities in all of FCS college football. 18 suites, 750 club seats. We got a chance to tour, and boy, I am mightily impressed,
You
Jeff.
should have seen your face when you walked in the clubhouse. You weren't expecting that. That's why I say it's not the best HBCU facility. It's the best FCS facility in the country. I've seen a lot of them. Be challenged to find one better.
Golden, the true freshman, on the carry. Picks up just about 4 out of Fort Lauderdale, tackled by Terry Whittington.
And I think that goes back to kind of what we talked about in the open. You see the stadium. You're not going to find anything nicer. They want to win. They made the investment in football here at Alabama State. This is a loyal fan base. They expect to do better than 0-4 right now. And I'd like to think that Jenkins will find a way to turn this thing around, but I think he needs to do it in a hurry.
Pearson kept it himself, didn't fool the defense. And he was brought down by Trey Farrell. Well, one of the things that is attractive about coming to Alabama State are their facilities. 26,000 plus seats here, built back in 2012, and it's on campus. Not only that, you see it from the interstate, and it catches your attention immediately.
This is a nice place, and like I said, proud program. We'll get that. Nobody standing up in the 3-point stance on the rush, really trying to confuse the freshman quarterback. 3-man rush. You've got time.
3rd and 7, flushed out the pocket as Pearson launches it up, and hit is Joe Williams. So it looked like he had the catch, an incompletion. Nice play by the Braves.
And this is as a freshman quarterback. When you see a flash, you tend to take off sideways. A veteran quarterback sees a flash, and they sidestep it into the soft spot. So take a look here. You're going to see a flash. They're just trying to cross your face 37. Stay here. Where you going? You got blockers back on the inside. You go on the edge, and you're just a sit and duck. They're going to tee off on you, and the defense moves that way. That's something you just learn as time goes on. A 3-man rush, you know you've got time and protection. No need to leave the pocket that early.
Trevor Vincent had a career-long punt, 68 yards on his last attempt. We'll see what he does here with Warford back to receive. Lets it bounce as well, picks it up, and avoids one defender. And just out to about the 39-yard line. Boy, he took the hit. That was a dangerous play right there from Warford.
Watching Warford, he backs down from nobody. O-linemen, D-linemen, linebackers. He's a football player that likes to mix it up.
The game, of course, was scheduled for week 3, but Hurricane Irma had other plans, so this is the makeup game. The handoff to DeLance Turner. Turner, again, Braves having so much success right up the gut of the Hornets defense.
And you wonder why throw the football. Make them show they can stop you running the football. I'm going to give them a heavy dose of DeLance Turner on this drive right here. Where are the linebackers? That's what you wonder. Where are the linebackers for Alabama State? They're on the ground.
Once again, hurdling a defender. Outside is DeLance Turner. And again, he's just running all over the Hornets defense. 22 yards on that pickup. And this is an Alcorn State team that averages 209 yards rushing a game. Footman with the read and kind of trips over his own feet.
Seems like the only person can make a tackle on the defense right now is the turf here at Alabama State. That's another case. Footman trying to do a little too much. Play within the system. Your running back has got consecutive yards of 10 consecutive runs of 10+ yards. Keep it in his hands. Don't pull it from him. Let him keep going.
Well, DeLance Turner can give Brian Jenkins and this Hornets defense several headaches. One of the top 5 in FCS is Turner in yards per carry with 8.6. Here's P.J. Simmons. And Simmons tripped up on the outside.
Whoa, did you see that block on the outside? You want to talk about a wipeout block. Take a look at Steve. You can see Smiley here from Alcorn State. What a fantastic job. Coming in, wham, right there. It was down already. That's how you play special. That's how you play football on the perimeter. That's Orlando Veals.
That's one of the things Fred Kice talked about as it's 4th down, and McCullough will come on to attempt the field goal. But one of the things that Fred Kice told us before the game is, look, we've got a couple of old linemen who are out. We expect to get them back in a couple of weeks, but we've got a solid group up front, and they're going to get even better as the season goes on.
Yeah, they're going to get healthier. They're led by Timothy Gardner on the left side, has been a big plus.
32-yard attempt on the way from McCullough. And it's good. So Alcorn State jumping out to a 10-0 lead on the road with 5:50 remaining here in the first quarter. Oh boy, there's always that mention of the Howard Bison in every broadcast with Jay Butler.
You know they beat UNLV this year.
Okay, thanks for that reminder.
Okay, just in case you forgot.
So Marquez Spencer brings it out to just about the 21-yard line for Alabama State. Well, we talked about Alcorn State and just how they've dominated the SWAC East. When you look at where they stand, Alabama A&M, how about the Bulldogs off to a good start under head coach James Spady? They've got an important matchup this weekend against Southern, and then after that, it's kind of rough.
Yeah, huge surprise. Everybody thought Jackson State would contend a little bit more. They've had their struggles, win this in conference play, and give credit to Coach Spivey down there at Alabama A&M, off to a 2-0 start. He was a guy coming in. He told me immediately, well, I know I'm on the hot seat. But so far, the Bulldogs have responded well. Didn't mean to call him Spivey. It's Coach Spady. It's Coach Spady.
He knows your heart.
You know what I say about all that, though?
What's that?
You can start off 2-0. You start off 0-2. In Alabama, you better win that Classic. Whoever loses that Classic is clearly on the hot seat.
The Magic City Classic in Birmingham coming up later this month. Jay, you say it's the best Classic in HBCU football.
It's the #1 HBCU event, period.
In and out of the hands of Gray. So that brings up now 3rd and 6 for the Hornets.
And this is a really tough one because, we thought Kobe Jones was going to be starting quarterback. And it's so much different when you start a lefty compared to a righty. During the week, those receivers have to get used to catching those left-handed footballs. They come in with a different spin. And I think in that case there, Daryl Pearson throws a catchable ball, but the receiver's just not used to catching that out pattern from the lefty. Kind of sneaks up on him and not able to do it. Who wins in that situation? You're not doing Pearson a favor or the wide receiver a favor by making a sudden switch and decision to start Daryl Pearson.
So 4 to go on the play clock. Gets it off with 2 seconds. And some traffic. Backs it up and throws it out.
This would be a unique penalty. You know what the penalty is?
What's that?
Illegal player participation. So what you're going to see for Alcorn State, number 37, Terry Whittington, helmet comes off. You have to stop playing when that happens.
Defense, number 37, participating with his helmet off. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it's a tough one because it comes off. He has to stop. But he goes after the quarterback, continues to play, and that's going to be a first down for Alabama State. And he put a hit on the quarterback without the helmet. I'll give you some toughness points, but you got to know the rules. You have to stop.
He wanted to keep making a play on it, Jay. That was the first flag of the game. It's been pretty clean thus far.
Yeah, I wonder if he makes that play, you can't call him for helmet-to-helmet contact, so he probably should have took a harder hit on the quarterback because he doesn't have a helmet. Good call by the official.
First down for the Hornets as they operate from their own 39-yard line. Pearson rushed out the pocket by Shippey, and he's brought down. Boy, the pressure, though, coming on the right side.
And what you do with a left-handed quarterback, you make him escape to the right. So he's got to square his shoulders. You see the end part of this one. You know he's in trouble. Once he has to go to his right, he's a lefty. He has to square up. They're going to get a good hit on him regardless of what he does with the football. And you see a good shot by Michael Brooks, number 94, that anchor the defensive line, teaching the freshman. This is not high school football in Georgia anymore.
This Alabama State offense has had trouble putting points on the board. They've scored 27 in total this season. That's last in the SWAC at 6.8 a game, a 3-yard carry for Gray.
Probably some of the worst offensive production in the country. I mean, 125 teams play FCS football. That has to be in the 120s at 6.8 points per game. You defeat your defense. When you go on the field thinking we can't let a team score, and for them, their offensive coordinator's been out, and that's something we probably need to talk about after this play.
3rd and 7, and Pearson just throws it away as he felt pressure from the backside brought by Hollis.
And in fairness to Alabama State, offense is averaging 6.8 points per game, but their offensive coordinator, Mark Orlando, one of the most respected offensive minds in HBCU football, legendary offenses he's had. He's been out all season long. They don't know the prognosis for when he's coming back, something they want to keep within the family. And in his absence, they've kind of done play calling by committee. Coach Jenkins did a little bit, and now he's passing it on to Coach Don Hill-Ely.
Trey Dunbar came on as well to help with the play calling. So by committee, that's something that you don't see very often, but certainly the absence of Orlando is starting to show for this team, a key member of this group. Our prayers and thoughts are with his family. And another solid punt by Trey Vincent, 42-yard line. Well, you mentioned Fred McNair, the older brother to Steve McNair. He's heir two, if you will. His senior year at Alcorn State, passed for more than 5,300 yards, 47 touchdowns. I'm talking about gaudy numbers. He went on to have a great career in the NFL as well.
You can make the argument he was the best to ever do it in HBCU football. Some people say it's Doug Williams, some will say it's Steve McNair. But
came in 3rd in Heisman voting that season. Footman steps back to pass. And just off target to Fields.
and this is one where I'll openly question this because, one thing about Fred Kice and his offense, they like to have a little finesse, but their running game is so powerful tonight. Don't worry about being balanced, run pass. Run the football. Alabama State has not shown they can stop you running the football. You'd have to give me a reason why I would call a pass.
Well, thus far, they have 128 yards on the ground, does Alcorn State.
Please reset the clock to 2:46. 2:46. Thank you.
And we saw on that first drive and the second, really, Footman and Turner, the combination of those two, just so lethal.
Yeah, I don't know if Alabama State has the athleticism to compete with those guys. Those are the best two football players on the field right now. I'm going to keep it in their hands.
The sweep to Johnson, and Johnson is met by a gang of black jerseys. The Hornets in on the stop.
And that's what you have to do. Team's going to run a jet sweep. You have to string it all the way to the outside, and maybe that's that spark they need on defense to really get things going for Alabama State.
Defending number 36, Richard Reynolds.
Richard Reynolds in on the tackle. So this brings up 3rd and 10 for Alcorn State. They have not been successful in converting on 3rd down. Footman feeling the rush, gets out of the way, open field, nobody's gonna get him. He picks up 1st down yardage and more. 19-yard gain for Lenoris Footman, pushed out by TJ Presley.
I always say if you're gonna blitz a quarterback, you better get to him. And in this case, they just couldn't catch him. He outran the blitz. Everybody for Alcorn had a body on somebody. Alabama State defenders not able to catch up to Footman. And that's the risk what happens when you blitz a mobile quarterback. If you don't get to him, he can hurt you.
Footman finds Beals. So a 7-yard gain. And that's one of the things that Footman talked about during the offseason. He wanted to become a smarter runner, not take so much punishment, put himself in harm's way, but also you've seen him become a more detailed passer, being able to get the ball out a little bit quicker and make better recognition and reads.
And that was leadership right there. He got to the line of scrimmage, recognized too much cushion on the outside, called a quick count, quick snap, got rid of the ball quickly, delivered the ball for a strike for 1st down. He truly has command of this offense. It's just a matter of not trying to do too much and play within the offense.
The handoff was faked, and sliding towards that 1st down marker is Footman.
You just almost get the feeling that Alcorn can do whatever they want to do to Alabama State right now offensively. They can run it, they can throw it, zone read, reverse.
Footman finds Fields once more.
They're having fun. Quarterback is faking the play action, getting outside the pocket. Wide receivers not getting touched on a simple 10-yard out route. It just seems like Alabama State, they're just taking the blows instead of delivering the blows from Alcorn State right now.
First quarter winding down as the Braves will take one more snap. Once again, Reed Oshin and Footman takes it.
7 yards. Where is the rush defense for Alabama State? It's yet to show up here in Montgomery, Alabama. Alcorn State up 10-0, making it look easy here tonight.
Here with you from Montgomery as Alcorn State taking a 10-0 lead going into the 2nd quarter, and the reason why they are up 10-0 is because they've done a great job gashing this defense.
These aren't rushing holes, these are big holes. Look at these huge rushing lanes. I could still give you those holes, Tiff, and I haven't played football in a long time, but look at the gaping holes. Where's the 2nd-level defenders with the linebackers? They're all being misled, going for the misdirection. Right now, Alcorn is dominating the line of scrimmage. averaging more yards on the ground than they are by the airways. That's why I say keep running the football, Alcorn State. Don't get too cute.
A total of 200 yards rushing and passing for the Braves. Footman, 7 rushes, 96 yards, and a touchdown, and the Braves driving. But a timeout called coming out of the quarter.
And that drives coaches crazy. You're already coming out of a quarter. You got plenty of time to talk about it. Shouldn't have to burn a timeout on the first play of the second quarter.
Well, Saturday, the Paul Bunyan Trophy will be on the line at the Big House. It's Michigan State and number 7 Michigan, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. Also streaming live on the ESPN app.
Remember what happened that game last year?
Absolutely.
You think the Wolverines won't pay attention to special teams?
I think Jim Harbaugh will be preaching special teams, harping on it all week long, as I'm sure he has been. All phases of the game, it takes 3. Offense, defense, and special teams. Footman running to his right and finds the binder line.
And they're throwing the ball. 2nd and short, and they're throwing the ball again. When Alcorn State gets in trouble, traditionally a little bit, they get a little bit too fancy. What was the average? How much are they averaging per running play?
11.
11. Why not pick up another 11 yards on the run? Great balance with the offense, but tonight, I just think you wear a team down and you can run the football on them and they know it's coming.
And you've got the league-leading rusher in Lance Turner. He had 559 yards on the season coming into tonight's game. They hand it off to him. And it's very close to that first down marker. I think that's going to be right on the line. I don't know if they have to take a measure or not.
Being on that spot, I thought the far official gave him a favorable spot where he should have picked it up. Looks like they had to get to the 19-yard line.
So they will measure, but we talked about Lance Turner again, 8.6 yards a carry, one of the best in FCS. He's done a ton of film work, and he's one of the bigger backs that Fred Geis's offense has seen.
I think the spot was pretty right on there. And you ask him what makes him a good back. He brings it every day, every play. At practice, he wants to run the ball full speed all the time. Hard work, hard-nosed player, determined player. So he's really inspirational. So he's one of those guys, when he gets on the football field, you know he means business. And that kind of goes throughout the whole football team. They feed off of his energy and determination in practice. And they're not surprised at all the success he's having on the football field this season.
4 carries, 58 yards rushing for the senior out of McLean, Mississippi. 1st and 10 for the Braves. Man in motion. Footman tosses it out to Turner. Eludes one defender. They may have lost a couple of yards on that play as he was pushed out by Joshua Hill.
Tall sweep on the outside, but versus a cover 2 look with 2 cornerbacks that are there just specifically for run support. That chance had little opportunity for success. Run him straight ahead. Zone read him. Make him stop the zone read between Footman and Turner.
12th play of this drive on the way. The Footman has his man. Norlando Veals, 2 easy, touchdown Braves.
Tell you what, Veals is Jerry Rice, or they're just playing poor defense against him. We've seen him get wide open, 3 or 4 yard separation on each of his routes. Little play action in the backfield. Once he gets outside the pocket, great job by Footman. And look at the separation by Veals on Joshua Hill. Strong safety.
21-yard touchdown pitch and catch from Footman to Veals. Again, they're relatively quick strike offense, if you will. We saw a minute 45 in their opening drive. Just over 3.5 minutes on that one. 12 plays, 84 yards. Results in a touchdown. 17-0 Alcorn State. Talk with your mouth full.
I'm going to let you call the kickoff while I take another bite of this one, and then we'll get back to it.
You got the good job here, Jay. McCullough on the kickoff, and Spencer returns it out to just about the 22-yard line before he's wrestled down. The thing about it, though, Jay, is you didn't offer to share. Sharing is caring, Jay.
You saw how big that drumstick was.
I did.
That's not enough for that's not enough for two. That's just for me. You see how big I am.
I could have had on one side, could have had a little bit on the other side, just offer a piece.
Now, can somebody bring me up a sweet tea from the truck to wash that down since we're going to be in the shower?
Well, this Alabama State offense just anemic right now, trying to get anything going. Alcorn State has more points than the Hornets have total offense.
And you want to say you just need a couple breaks here or there. Right now, they're getting outplayed right now. I mean, they really are. Alcorn's a good team. There's no doubt about it. Alcorn is a very good team. They'll compete for a SWAC championship, but Alabama State, they just have no answer. They're getting dominated in all phases of the game.
Right there, Anthony Jones on the carry. And again, Alabama State just not able to get out of neutral.
And they got some help with that 33-yard drive where they got a penalty there. But it's been tough, and not having the offensive coordinator, stuff's going to happen like that. And then the defense is going to be on the field for a while, so the defense is getting outplayed. The offense is not here, and the special teams hasn't been great either.
Third and 11, and the completion out to Willis White, and Willis White picks up the first down. And that's one thing that Brian Jenkins is happy to see, even though I believe there may be a penalty flag on the field. He says it's frustrating because it's not like the play calling is bad. It's just that we're not executing.
We don't execute. We'll see what this penalty is.
Formation. Offense. More than 4 men in the backfield.
That's the execution you're talking about. When teams are winless, you do something right, you get the ball to a receiver that's supposed to make a play, he makes a play, but it comes back because of a mental error with an illegal formation.
So that wipes out a 15-yard gain.
Yeah, and they're calling the left tackle, Titus Howard, off the line of scrimmage. Got to be up there a little bit. That's a close call, but that's what the rules are there for. You can't be that far off the line of scrimmage, particularly if you put that front leg a little bit further, they probably won't call that.
So instead of 1st and 10, it's now 3rd and 16. With just over 11.5 to go here in the second quarter. And just overthrows White, but another penalty marker on the field.
And this is going to be on Alcorn State, roughing the passer.
Roughing the pass. Defense number 91 with a blow to the head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Maishawn Smith, the culprit.
Smith is a defensive tackle, so they're inside. They normally don't get a lot of sacks. But you see at the end, comes down on the helmet. They're going to call that every single time, young man. You can barely touch a quarterback, let alone whack him upside the head with that turkey leg that just got finished eating.
brought down by big number 50, Lamont Bell.
Let's see if anybody blocked you by this last play. You have 3 white jerseys surrounding the football. Let's see who won the battle of the blocks. The center loses his battle, 51's there. White jerseys, white jerseys. You got the tackle standing around watching. That's 74, Sam Baptiste. Nobody's winning their battles.
Daryl Henderson in on the tackle as well, listed at 6'1", 324 pounds, out of Jacksonville, Florida. The pause in the action. Brian Jenkins, just not the way he expected things to go, not only this season, but thus far during his tenure here at Alabama State.
And it goes back to all the success he had at Bethune-Cookman. Killed the rap.
You had to throw that in there, Jay. Why? It just wasn't.
Sorry, because he went to Florida A&M. So, but he had so much success at Bethune-Cookman. Look at that. And they said, okay, when he gets into the SWAC, he'll be able to just come close to that success and they would love him. Yet to have a winning season. He just has not been able to get the job done. When you talk to everybody in the HBCU world, I think they're surprised at the lack of success that he's had here thus far.
6-5 in 2015 last year. They went 4-7. Golden on the carry, flushed outside and dragged down by Whittington.
This is how you play outside contain. This is what you call outside contain. Whittington's got a job. His job is to not let anything get outside. Look what he does. Gets the leverage, shields it, sees it, grabs him for the tackle for a loss. That's great outside contain by Terry Whittington.
So Whittington out of Cooper City, Florida. 2.5 tackles for loss this season. Another 3rd and long situation for the Hornets.
Nice.
Pearson finds a man wide open in George Golden. He had a ton of real estate ahead of him, but just over the head of the 5'8" running back.
And I like the step up. Watch the young freshman quarterback. He sees the flash. This time he steps up, gets the ball to him, but it's an uncatchable ball, a little bit too high for the 5'7" running back in the flat. But did you see all the wide open space he had ahead of him? And it's those little things that they're missing in terms of execution. And teams that normally misfire like that on a regular basis are teams that don't win a lot of football games.
Jalen Walker back to receive the punt. So we mentioned Marquise Wolford was a little banged up. Wonder if that went into the decision of switching out him for Walker. A fair catch made just inside the 30-yard line. 37-yard punt, and Alcorn State will get things going after the break. Church played an integral role in the civil rights movement, and that church basement was where the Montgomery bus boycotts were organized, in part by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who spent about 6 years leading the congregation. So much history just in this area, and not too far from the state capitol, right up the street on Dexter Avenue. So Footman in the shotgun, pulls it down, play action, right idea, just bounced it up to Johnson, incomplete.
Footman's pass is finished. Johnson.
Efficient night, over 150 yards total offense already. We're just 5.5 minutes into the second quarter. Still like to see them force feed the run a little bit. I think this is a game where you continue to run the ball until they show they can stop it. Rest up your star players if you can.
Turner on the carry. The penalty marker on the field.
That's the best job of stopping the run we've seen by the Hornets all night. No place to go for Grant Gardner.
Bridges, with a flag on the field.
Hands to the face. Offense, number 57. 15-yard
Personal
penalty.
foul.
Second down.
Alcorn State.
Their left tackle, Timothy Gardner, called for the personal foul.
You see Gardner right there, number 57, right before we saw that. But hand got tangled in there, and Gardner's a good-looking NFL prospect, 6'6", 300-pounder from Indianapolis, Indiana. Talk about a guy that can move on his feet for a guy with that type of size and frame.
Second down.
He's got a great story as well. Transferred in from Indiana University. And teamwork there as helping get his teammate all shoestringed up and tied. Delance Turner good to go. Footman as well. Steps back in the pocket. Finds Veals. Veals brings it down. Dennis Roberts on the tackle.
That's just too much separation. You know, in the NFL game, open is a yard. In college football, it's about two and a half yard. We're seeing Veals get 4 or 5 yard cushions on 15-yard routes.
Orlando Veals, again the leading receiver for the Braves. 6 catches, 70 yards for the 5th-year senior, and a timeout is taken by Alabama State. The Braves in search of their 4th straight SWAC East title, and also hoping to win their 3rd conference title in 4 years. Well, make sure you check out The Undefeated for exclusive HBCU content. Click on the HBCU tab on theundefeated.com. Of course, there's a bonus there. There's a profile up on North Carolina A&T's star left tackle, Brandon Parker.
Check out The Undefeated. I'll tell you everything you need to know now. We saw earlier, you talked about teamwork. And the teamwork was the quarterback tying the shoes of the running back. You know why he does that, little football one-on-one? You got a bunch of guys there. Quarterbacks, we don't wear gloves. So running backs have gloves on. You see he's got the gloves on. A little bit hard to tie your shoes with all that. So Footman says, oh, I got you. No gloves. I've been asked to tie shoes many a time.
Good eye. Good eye, Jay. And then, again, good leadership too, right?
It's team sport.
Yeah. 2 for 4 on 3rd downs. This one a little bit more manageable. Footman has time. Finds Charles Hughes. First time Hughes is brought in a catch. Last season, he was out because of a shoulder injury, so good to see the redshirt junior back.
How much time is Footman getting at the line of scrimmage? That's a penalty. Good job by Footman realizing that Alabama State was making a lazy substitution onto the field. They caught a guy running on the field.
5-yard penalty. First down.
So you're going to see he's on the field right here. He's coming in a little bit lazy. He's on the Alcorn. He's on the Alcorn side of the field, but you also got number 57 that was on the bottom of your screen that was on there. Miscommunication.
And Brian Jenkins is one of those coaches who always talks about discipline in detail. That's, you know, part of his mantra and what he likes to bring to his schools. And right there, just a little undiscipline as play clock runs out, so they'll push back the Braves.
Give me 5, I'll give you 5 back. And I'll give you 5 at halftime.
Nice plug there, Jay. I like how you work that in. Yeah.
I think they're going to like to give me 5 at halftime.
You always keep them talking.
Yeah. Because it's Jay's give me 5.
It is. As always, people can just hit you up on Twitter and continue the conversation after after the game as well. Footman out to Turner. And this one is likely going to come back as well.
Defending for the Hornets, number 46.
57. 10-yard penalty. Touchdown.
Big flag on the field.
That's Tim Gardner, the left tackle, being called for a holding.
Call against Alcorn State.
So we saw a relatively clean game through one quarter. Here in the second quarter, slowed by some miscues.
But I'm going to go back to why are you throwing the ball on first down? 1st and 10. Running backs averaging 8 yards a carry. Quarterbacks averaging like 10 yards a carry.
It's 1st and 20 for the Braves.
But to Alcorn's credit, they've been able to overcome that, and they've been throwing the ball pretty efficiently well. It all starts with the pass protection. Let's see if Alabama State can get any type of pass rush. Nope.
Footman has plenty of time, delivers to Veals, missed tackle, picks up the first down and more. Ramsey brings him down. The 28-yard reception for Veals.
They're killing him with the second level throw. This is all this is a second level throw. Basic football. He's coming here, he's going to run outright. You see that coming. I mean, you see it on every level of football. Every level of football, 15-yard out, 15-yard out. How many times have we seen Veals catch a 15-yard out? And that's where too much cushion out there, but it really all starts with the protection. And this line for Alcorn, led by Tim Gardner and Brantley, Ibrahim the center, everybody is just winning their battles. There is no pass rush coming from Alabama State. And as a quarterback, when you feel no pressure, you feel real good about your chances.
DeLance Turner takes it, and he's inside the red zone as DeLance Turner dragging a couple of defenders with him. A 29-yard gain for the Braves running back.
We said the running game has been there all night. I mean, these are huge running lanes. And DeLance Turner taking advantage of it. Good runner behind a good offensive line.
See a good look there at Timothy Gardner, preseason first team All-SWAC. He's a 4-star recruit out of high school, originally started and was slated to go to Ohio State. We'll tell you a little bit more about him as Footman calls his own number and another score. Lenoris Footman with the 8-yard touchdown run, and it's starting to look too easy for Alcorn State.
I'm going to start saying maybe Alcorn State's better than we gave them credit for. They just look dominating tonight. Footman getting to the end zone, nearly untouched.
Use the hole.
7 plays. They're going 71 yards in less than 4 minutes. Wow.
McCullough, the extra point is no good, but a flag is on the field.
Things don't go your way, they just don't go your way.
Outside. Defense, number 94. After just to the goal.
Misses the extra point, and you jump offside.
Call for offside.
Let's say, Mom always said it'd be days like this, or when it rains, it pours, or give me another cliche you can use, just something just ain't right.
Oh.
I don't know what to say. I mean, they missed the extra point, you're offsides.
And nothing going in favor of Alabama State for sure. So Alcorn State with another opportunity this time. They can make it 24-0. McCullough once again on the hold. And this one may have been deflected, but it goes through. So Lenoris Footman gives the Braves a big lead. 6 minutes to go in the first half. just a little lifeless here inside the new ASU Stadium. Certainly not the start that the fans wanted here, and it's just tough to watch.
The last home game, Prairie beat them 34-0. Now they're losing 24-0, so they've been outscored 58-0 in a game, and not even a game and a half. Kind of lifeless.
They've spent, this is their 5th game in state. They haven't had to leave the state of Alabama. One bounces and picked up by Palmer Graham. Graham just inside the 20-yard line, and that's where they'll start things off.
And I wonder if you make a quarterback change. You tried to surprise him and go with Pearson. He still got 0 on the board. Kobe Jones showed some good signs, in growing. The problem is you've got 3 redshirt freshmen. So you're just picking one to see, it's like throwing spaghetti on the wall, seeing what will stick. Well, Pearson hasn't been able to make it stick. Kobe Jones,
just 1 passing yard for Kobe Jones, and right there, Johnny on the spot is Quentin Smith with a tackle for loss. The junior out of West Palm Beach lost 6.
And 26, you see him. He's coming here off the edge, watching him penetrate here. A lot of folks at Alcorn remember the name Warren Gatewood. Gatewood played that nickel back position where you had to be able to cover the run as well as the pass, and Quentin Smith's a good one.
Backs him up now, 2nd and 16, and one of the things that is typical of the Brian Jenkins offense is that he will rotate a quarterback in a heartbeat. He doesn't have any hesitation, no matter if you're playing well or not, to kind of sub guys in and out. He always likes to create competition at that spot. Are you surprised that he's stuck with Pearson so far?
Not surprised, because he wants to see what can happen. I just think the concept, you heard he and I have an exchange. I laugh at the joke, said, well, Skywalker couldn't play quarterback for Brian Jenkins, because I believe as a quarterback you learn from your mistakes. And if I make the same mistakes, then you can pull me out the game. But I don't want to be on the hot seat looking over my shoulder every possession, every series, every half, every quarter, every game. You want to say, okay, I know I've got this. They believe in me. And I just think he's been searching for that guy, and it just hasn't happened. And it's a lot of pressure to play quarterback for Brian Jenkins.
The Hornets going backwards on this drive. Got 19 to gain. Pearson tucks it, runs, and he's popped there at the end. Ball goes loose, but I believe he was down.
He gives up his body, so I think he's clearly going to be down right there, but taking an unnecessary popping. And going back to the discussion about the quarterback, and it's just fundamental, what I believe in what he did. I was a quarterback. I always wanted to be in there. He got burned. He was at Bethune-Cookman. He felt so reliant upon one quarterback, Matt Johnson. And when Matt Johnson got hurt going into the playoffs, he said, I will never be so reliant on just one quarterback again. And I understand you make the adjustment as a coach, but then you have to realize, if you're going to recruit a quarterback, why would a quarterback want to play when you can't guarantee you're going to be the starter on a weekly basis?
And Walker calls for the fair catch. 32-yarder. It's 24-0. Alcorn State on the road.
The Hornets came up just a game short from making it to postseason baseball, losing to Texas Southern in the SWAC championship game. How about that? The dual sport commentator up here.
I see you, Jay. You're everywhere. We can never get rid of Jay Skywalker. You do it all.
I try my best. Growing up a fan of Bo Jackson, and John Elway, you had to think about 2 sports.
P.J. Simmons with the reception. Now on the jet sweep, and that goes nowhere. So that pushes them back. Brings up third down. Dominique Jackson in on the tackle.
This is coaching them up. So as bad as things have been for Alabama State, Coach Jenkins realized we got a team that is getting ready to punt us the ball. If we can put some points on the scoreboard before the half, maybe steal a little momentum, he's going to do that. And I agree with the timeout here, trying to find a spark. Kids, can your defense just go out there and execute? And first thing I would do when I broke the huddle on defense, I'm going to find Orlando Vills. Number 85 for Alcorn has been open all night for the Braves.
I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to that out route that's been successful all night long.
The dangerous thing is if you try and blitz a guy like Footman, he's so quick that he can pick up 10 yards rushing.
Footman has accounted for 3 touchdowns tonight. $11 yards to gain. Footman with time. And finds Charles Hughes close to the first down marker. Right at the sticks.
That's a big time throw. Footman, they finally got pressure on Footman in the pocket. Hit as he released the football. Were able to throw an accurate pass to Charles Hughes, and Hughes with a nice spin move to the outside picked up the first down.
Footman holds on to it. Brought down by Darren Johnson. Pickup of 6.
A heavy dose of P.J. Simmons in the game, giving Lance Turner a little bit of a breather over on the sideline. And you almost start to wonder if they score it here, how much of Footman will we see in the second half?
Noah Johnson, backup quarterback. And Footman dragged down by Dennis Roberts behind the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2. And another third down on the way.
It's 3rd and 7 from the 29.
Footman, who got glowing remarks from not only his head coach, but his offensive coordinator as well, talked about the type of leader that he is. You've seen his progression by, watching film, and before it would be like, okay, coach, I'll take what you say, and I'll implement it on the field. Now he's giving feedback and become much more knowledgeable at his position. And that'll back the Braves up 5 yards. Play clock expires.
5-yard penalty. Third down.
Fred McNair, gotta give him credit for being one of those rising coaches. This is his first time coaching a college football program. And it looks like Alcorn's gonna have a pretty good season this upcoming year. After dealing with the injuries last year, I think he could be one of those rising stars in the coaching profession. It's a teaser.
It is a teaser. I know what's coming up. Give me 5 at halftime. One of the top coaching prospects within HBCU football.
That's right. How about that? I'm not going to make a lot of friends with this. I call it like I see it. The top 5 HBCU coaching prospects. Fred McNair. Will he make the list?
It's fair to say that he perhaps should be on the list despite a 5-6 injury-plagued season. They played for a SWAC championship a year ago, come up just short to Grambling State. Off to a very good start here in SWAC competition. And really, when you look at their non-conference games, they played McNeese State very closely. Also in the game with FIU.
They lost by a touchdown to McNeese State and lost by a touchdown to FIU. So I think Alcorn fans, they're feeling real comfortable about their football team down there on the reservation. And you know what happens? This is the HBCU backdoor knowledge. So when the reservation's cooking, that means they're using fresh grease at Mr. D's Old Country Store.
You lost me. See, I haven't been to Lorman yet.
You haven't been on the reservation?
I haven't been on the reservation yet. By the way, excellent bunt by Corey McCullough. Been the Hornets at the 1-yard line.
Run the ball and get to the locker room as quickly as possible time for Alabama State.
Gray out of the end zone. 2-yard pickup.
Over Gray for about 3 yards.
As the seconds tick off here in the first half.
And Smith defending for the Braves. It's 2nd and 9.
Alcorn State's defense pitching a shutout, although the Hornets have been ineffective moving the ball. Still on his feet is Gray.
Take it into the locker room right now. And I don't think you're going to hear a lot of cheers as Alabama State goes into the locker room. It's been a game and a half since the Hornet offense has put any points on the board. Been thoroughly dominated here in this first half. Impressive performance from Alcorn.
Alcorn State on the road in this SWAC Leagues game against Alabama State. Put up 24 in the first half. They'll have the lead and rest up for second half action. But you'll want to come back for our halftime show. Welcome back to Alabama State as Alcorn State is on top 24-0 here at the half as we welcome you inside. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green, and certainly not the performance that Brian Jenkins would have wanted to see out of his team held to a goose egg thus far.
Yeah, been tough to watch, been tough to commentate on it. And this stadium, I don't know if I've ever seen this stadium so shocked. You know, the lady on the elevator said, I just know we haven't scored yet. She didn't know what the score was, but knew they didn't score. Not a good half of football for Alabama State.
Well, you teased it already. Some of the top coaching prospects around college football, and how about it? Give me 5. Jay Walker, you take over. I know.
I don't take over. Give me 5. You got to talk about the release right there. I was a coach maker, not a coach killer. Coach maker, not a coach killer. But how about this? The top 5 hottest HBCU coaching prospects. Before we start, a couple years ago, it definitely would have been Brian Jenkins. Definitely tells you how you can't take for granted. How about Fred McNair? We talked about the job he's doing. First job coaching FCS football. He's getting it done. Fred McNair, watch out. He's a good one that can coach there. Number 4, Willie Simmons, Prairie View A&M. Some people would say he's a little bit low. They love him in Prairie View. Willie Simmons doing a fantastic job leading that team. Beat Grambling, you might move up the list, Willie. But one of the brightest young minds in all of HBCU football. I don't know how much longer they'll keep him, not only in Prairie View, but in HBCU football, period. Now, number 3, you got to school you a little bit.
All right.
You ever heard of the CIAA?
Absolutely.
They got a quarterback named Amir Hall who's lighting it up, could be Black College Player of the Year. And when you have a quarterback that you groom like that, I got you, Damon. No need for you to text me. Damon Wilson at Bowie State, they're doing a fantastic job lighting it up. They're ranked in the top 25. He is a hot HBCU coaching prospect.
All right. Top 2.
Got to flip a coin right here. But I go Jerry Mack of North Carolina Central, number 2, offensive genius. North Carolina Central's won 3 consecutive shares or outright titles in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. He's on the rise, and he's under the age of 40. And number 1, to the victors go the spoils. Got to be somebody from the G-Men, Broderick Files. Took over that program that was in disarray. All he's done is win, win, win. You talk about a guy that probably won't be at Grambling long, and they should like that. But this is not give me 5.
And then on the bubble,
Dawson Odom, underrated job. First job head coach at Southern University, a little bit underrated. And how about this? They don't want to hear this around here. How about Reggie Barlow? Young guy,
That's not a
Virginia
name.
State. He's got them winning. He was the head coach here. I think he's kind of reinvented himself at Virginia State. So talk about it. You think you got something better? Hit me up on Twitter at JWalkerSky. But remember, it's Jay's Give Me 5, not y'all's Give Me 5.
y'all's give me 5. Well, we'll see Broderick Bobbs and Willie Simmons go head-to-head this weekend as Prairie View A&M and Grambling State meet in Dallas. Tigers ranked number 19 in the FCS poll as we get things underway here in the third quarter. Alabama State with the ball first, and on the return is Spencer.
Put the kids away. Close your eyes as we show you these first half stats.
Not what you want to see in total yards.
10.
10.
You can throw one pass and have 10 yards total offense. But dominating performance, let's not underestimate. 330 yards by this Alcorn State offense. But it's very one-sided game so far.
Alabama State has been aided in penalties and first downs, and there we speak of penalties, another one on the way.
You know what I want to know for Give Me 5?
Okay.
They can help me out. We had a long debate on who was number 1. Is it Jerry Mack or is it Broderick Bobbs? Everybody says I'm such a MEAC guy. I respected the SWAC's victory in the Celebration Bowl, that 1-point victory in the national championship game. So I put Bob one spot ahead of Jerry Mack.
That was the tipping point.
It was a tipping point.
Okay.
But both those guys are, I'm talking about on the rise.
They get it for sure. Grambling State out of the SWAC West. Who do you have coming out of the SWAC? I'm just curious to know your thoughts to try to make it back to the Celebration Bowl.
Ooh, I've got the winner of the SWAC going to the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, so not making any declarations as of yet.
I would say the team I thought could be the dark horse is kind of disappointed a little bit, and that's been Southern. Austin Howard got banged up a little bit. The winner of the SWAC West, I said before the season, I thought they would represent the conference in the Celebration Bowl. But after seeing Alcorn here tonight and what they've done, if Alcorn goes through the East, which they're going to have a leg up after tonight, then, those Braves, the way this defense can get after you, I may have to say they'd have a legitimate shot at going back to Atlanta.
They were there in 2015, and a pass complete, and more room for Willis White. So the first down for Alabama State, minus a penalty, 29-yard game.
Yeah, good looking play. They got some time to throw. Hits it, receiver. Willis White, what they call the best all-around wide receiver here in Montgomery.
Second on the team in receptions. But back to our conversation of who will make it into the Celebration Bowl. You know, again, Alcorn State back there for the inaugural Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl in 2015. And they could very well meet up with Grambling State. Rather, they'd have to go against Grambling State. And that matchup this weekend, all eyes will be on the Big D.
Oh, man, State Fair Classic, Dallas, Texas. I mean, that's pretty evenly matched right there in terms of points per game, the opposition's points per game. And Grambling's played a game more than Prairie View, because Prairie View had a game that they got canceled or pushed back because of the hurricane down in Houston. But that's going to be one. The bigger chip on the shoulder is Prairie View. But Grambling, Monte Kincaid, special talent
And
at the quarterback position.
Willie Simmons was at Alcorn State as the offensive coordinator for 3 years, as a nice pass from Pearson over to Gray out of the backfield. And this is the first time that the Hornets have been in Braves territory tonight.
Yeah, and Isaiah Thomas, number 25, he's the nickel back. and he kind of gets lost. He's looking in the backfield, and by the time he looks in the backfield, can't recognize where the receiver is, and Gray gets behind him, and the Hornets on the prowl.
And they give it right back to number 20 in black. That's Ezra Gray. He's a guy that brings a change of speed. Alex Anderson not playing tonight. One of the go-to backs for the Hornets this season. Once again, the handoff up the middle.
And Alex Anderson's a guy we thought would see a lot of the carries. He's the biggest back they have on this roster. So they don't really have the ability to pound the ball in the middle. You go to Ezra Gray, you lose a little bit of mass at that position. As Anderson's 200 pounds, Gray just $170.
3rd and 1. Pearson keeps it, pushes the pile ahead, first down. 1st and goal for the Hornets.
And this is how you come out of the locker room. Nice drive, getting down here, finish off the drive, get some points on the board. You're starting to see a little bit of resurgence and signs of life in this Alabama State team.
Flags on the field.
Number 18, Ely defended. Flag on play.
Illegal substitution. Defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So Hornets inching closer to the end zone. And I'm just curious to know, Jay, what do you think the conversation was like at the half with Brian Jenkins to his team?
Oh, he fired him up. He fired him up, and, you know, that's what great coaches do. They make the adjustments at halftime and come out and get a response from your team. And by me seeing the response from Alabama State, there's still a pulse there for this football team with him.
Another flag on the field. Eddie Kelly, our referee for tonight.
Ball start. Offense. Number 60. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Carl Thompson called for the infraction.
1st and goal from the 8-yard line.
And it looks like Carl Thompson never even hiked the football.
You know, I think what Jenkins is saying is, you know, the rule says the defense can draw the offense offside. So he thought he saw Alcorn State D-line move first. Oh, wow. And now a personal foul.
That one called on Brian Jenkins, so you cannot be outside the box and really walk onto the field if you're Brian Jenkins, but he was not pleased with that call.
Yeah, I mean, he thought he saw them jump off sides, and he's, you know, intense guy, comes all the way out the box, and now you can't do that because you were in field goal range, and now you're not really in field goal range. And I expect Alcorn State to bring a blitz to really try and keep them out of field goal range right now, push them back a little bit further.
And they were on the 3-yard line, Jay. Now 1st and goal from the 23. Here's that blitz you talked about, tucking in and running. Another marker on the field. So a lot of laundry we've seen already in the 3rd period.
Offense, 58, 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, and that's the part where you gotta keep it in. You gotta know the situation. You can live with the 5-yard penalty on the 3-yard line. You can't live with the 15-yarder that pushes you back because now you're basically settling for a field goal. And Alcorn State knows you're losing your range, so they bring a blitz. And then the blitz, in order to stop a blitzing linebacker, they tend to hold. Now you're moving backwards again. And you're looking at 1st and goal from the 33-yard line.
Alabama State continuing to shoot themselves in the foot. For as driven as this team was coming out of the locker room, now they're in a much different situation. Still 1st and goal, but a ton of yards to gain to go. The flicker to Willis White incomplete.
Yeah, They're going to continue to blitz because they want to get them out of field goal range. So right now, Alcorn is trying to preserve that shutout.
Second and goal.
And shutout gets you style points. And they're coming after the quarterback.
This defense led by Cedric Thomas. He's got 7 returners for this unit. And they admitted to us this was a bend but don't break kind of defense. We'll see what they dial up here.
They're going to keep coming. They're going to bring one more than you can block.
Over the outstretched hands of Joe Williams, and a lot of bodies going down in black.
Yeah, and this is the kitchen sequence. Freshman quarterback, they're like, they're going to block 5, we're going to bring 6. Somebody get to the quarterback and hit them. And that's kind of where you don't know where they're coming from. They're already standing around in circles and going pacing back and forth. And what you do as a coach, go max protection. Tell them don't worry about the blitz. Go max protection. I'm going to run 3-man routes and tell your wide receivers to beat them. Right now, every time they see this look, they're bringing pressure. Here they come. One more than you can block.
Pearson with time. Now nowhere to go. Tripped up in the backfield and brought down by Michael Brooks. Brooks, a 3-year starter for this unit out of Jackson, Mississippi.
How about this? They're probably going to have to punt the ball on 4th and goal. See that? They're bringing the bodies. Just active getting at it. You have to learn when they're blitzing you like that, you can't hold on to football unless you can run outside, get rid of it. And punting the ball on 4th and goal on a drive that started, or a series that started on the 3-yard line.
Jay, how deflating is that coming out of the locker room? You'd already been held to 10 yards in the first half total. And now you have to punt the ball with a great opportunity, but a very solid punt from Trevor Vincent. Good coverage from special teams. And Alcorn State will start things off from their own 2-yard line with 10:14 to go in the third. ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's. Jay Walker, Timothy Green here with you in Montgomery. Alcorn State looking to move to 2-0 in the SWAC East as they are pitching a shutout thus far over Alabama State 24-0.
Make a stand right now. You're college football players. You got a team backed up on the 1-yard line. Defense, go after it.
DeLance Turner trying to rustle around for a couple of yards.
I mean, you can think about it. Nothing's gone right for Alabama State, but you got a team pinned back. So this is a defense where you say, you know what, our offense is struggling. We're going to jumpstart it. We're going to go for the safety. We're going to make a stop. But this team is not going to pick up first downs on us. If they force a punt here, then maybe they can get some momentum and get their team right back in this game. I think this is a very crucial series for Alabama State football.
Hornets still searching for their first win of the season. Handoff to DeLance Turner. And Turner, who had a solid first half, picks up 5 there. Brought down by Joshua Hill.
Number 24, Joshua Hill, attended.
Third and manageable now. This has been times where we've seen Footman call his own number on the zone read. But things get tight. They like to run behind that left side of the offensive line with Timothy Gardner and Kenyon Brantley.
Third and 3, Hornets man.
The handoff to Turner, and Turner powering ahead with a first down. But when you look at DeLance Turner and you think of some of the running backs pass for Alcorn State, Aaron Baker, Darren Ragsdale, I mean, how does he match up to those guys?
Ooh, those guys were different because Baker was like smash, you know, the touchdown maker. What was the other name you gave me?
Darren Ragsdale.
Darren Ragsdale liked to jump over everybody. He was like the highlight. And I think Turner learned from those guys, and he's a little bit of both. He's got the power. Doesn't have, he's got a nice frame, but I don't know if he's going to run you over, you know, like some of those guys. But it was a power running game for the power position. You brought up some good names right there. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Well, not only that, I'm going to ask you another comparison. Okay, Turner gets the ball again, and
don't go there.
Grambling State
Okay.
Okay, see, look at that. Don't be worried.
I thought you were going to attempt to compare Footman to McNair, and I was going
No,
like, okay.
no. I'm going back with DeLance Turner. Like, what kind of running back? How would you compare him? Is he the best running back in the SWAC? Obviously, he has the stats, but Martez Carter from Grambling State.
Ooh, Martez Carter. I'm being a true fan of the position. I like home run hitters.
Okay.
Martez Carter is a home run hitter. He's a edge of your seat type of, every time he touches it, he can do something special and take it to the house. And so I'm a big Martez Carter fan. But if you look at that productivity, I'm not going to say Turner runs a little bit harder, but both those guys are really good. Both of them are.
Mustafa Ibrahim, the center for the Braves, down on the field. Training staff looking at his left ankle, it appears. Well, the reason why Alcorn State has had so much success is, again, running behind guys like Ibrahim, Brantley, Timothy Gardner, and that offensive line.
You know, yeah, and you know what I say, the interesting conversation about running back now, because a year ago, everybody thought the HBCU world was just overreacting to Tariq Cohen. But now Tariq Cohen makes it to the NFL, and everybody's like, oh, who's the next Tariq Cohen? So you got Carter's got a chance at it there. They're going to take a look at DeLance Turner as well at Alcorn State. Phil Yaw, running back at Howard University. So and I think there's an interest in the running back position again in HBCU football.
Well, it was Tariq Cohen who just made some jaw-dropping plays, and it seemed like every time he was on ESPN, he was running off for 200 yards or more.
200 yards. When the lights came on, and I think everybody in the HBCU world follows the Chicago Bears now because of Tariq Cohen.
Our Thursday night game with Minnesota. Cohen would probably be considered perhaps one of the best players for the Chicago Bears, and kind of a second coming, if you will, of Devin Hester, especially in that punt return game.
Special talent, all-time leading rusher in the Mid-East Athletic Conference. Speaks volumes about that young man.
And joystick, they like to call him. DeLance Turner trying to bounce off some tackles. Able to elude a couple of defenders, but goes back, and then there's a penalty flag on the field. The short side of the field, it appears.
Third down and 9.
There was a little talking going back and forth between Trey Garnett.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 6. 15-yard penalty, third down. This is number 6, first. Unsportsmanlike conduct.
So the unsportsmanlike penalty backs up Alcorn State.
Sportsmanlike conduct call against the Braves. 15-yard penalty.
Good job. Pull him out the game right away. McNair gives him a little earful. And that look.
That's the look that your mom gives you in the store, or when you're out in public and you know you did something wrong. Yeah. But she doesn't even have to say anything. It's just that look.
And 24, Hornet man.
So 3rd and a mile. And Footman threads it in there to Charles Hughes. That gets back to just about the original line of scrimmage, but they're going to punt it away.
And that's where you teach that young man, Tavares Johnson, some more. If we don't have your 15-yard penalty, we complete that pass, we get the first down, we keep the drive going, we keep control of the football. Now we have to punt the ball back because of a selfish play with an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Palmer Graham out of Chicago, back to receive the punt.
We'll drop back in punt formation for the Braves.
Gets it off just before the play clock expires. And a flag on the play.
You're not going to believe
right near the punter.
Right near the punter.
Around the 22.
Running into the kicker. That penalty is declined. First down, Alabama State. Timeout.
Penalty declined.
So they declined the penalty because it wouldn't have been enough for a first down. Didn't want a chance of punting it again. Up by 24. Nobody's going to question what head coach Bradley does.
Let's take a look at tonight's Bringing the Flavor, presented by McDonald's. Alabama State looking to get anything going. They had something cooking on their last drive before they moved backwards instead of forward. And Jay, I'm going to ask this question to you, and we brought it up at the top of the broadcast about whether Brian Jenkins, you feel, is on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, that's safe to say. I mean, 34-0 at home, losing 24-0 now. I mean, I think he'd be safe to say he's on the hot seat. How this team's going to rebound, and you know, it's tough. And they've got a lot of things going on here. New president here at the school, a new athletic director is coming in,
and Ezra Gray up the middle. No one's going to catch him. The speedy running back, 59-yard touchdown. So that interrupts the shutout from the Braves.
Yeah, how about that for being on the hot seat? Ezra Gray responds, helps out his coach and his team in a big way. They just gouge him up the middle.
Ezra Gray.
Nobody in the middle. They gambled on a blitzing defense, no linebackers, and Gray made it a foot race. And Alabama State has scored here at home for the first time in a long time.
And the first rushing touchdown of the season for the Hornets. The extra point is good. It's 24-7. Alabama State, can they breathe new life into this game? Ezra Gray says, I can do it. Okay. Good look at the riverfront in downtown Montgomery. Happened to place some few restaurants around there as well, and certainly Alabama State seeing some smiles on the sideline now with that touchdown run from Ezra Gray.
And they needed that desperately. Now, if the defense can keep it up, they really need to show some fight. This could get interesting quickly.
Jay Simmons feels it.
He's down.
And
Look
falls
at that.
down. Wow. We'll see if the Hornets defense can slow down the Braves.
If they're kicking it away from you, you don't want to feel the ball when it's running away from you. Catches it, knee is down. This is college football, cannot get back up once that knee is down. Once again, Alcorn will start poor field position.
Lenoris Footman has had a solid night. And when you just look at the production that he's had this season, coming off a career game against McNeese State, ran all over Southern. Bright future as Footman calls it again, down the right sideline, pushed out. Lenoris Footman with the 29-yard pickup.
Zone read. They like to do it down here. Tim Gardner, 57, seals it. Takes the brunt of that blow, but got in the way. Good activity. Number 57 from a left tackle position. He'll sell out his body every time for his quarterback to get a big game.
Footman being chased by Garnett and brought down, and you mentioned just how Gardner was sacrificing his body. What a great story is we see a young man who was a four-star recruit but was dismissed essentially, did not go on to play for Ohio State because of a legal issue, spent a couple of years at Indiana University, and that's where he met Ryan Stanchek, who is now the offensive line coach. At the time was the grad assistant. Built up some trust, was able to learn a few things at Indiana University, but felt like Alcorn State was the best place for him. And again, because of the relationship with Stanchek, he's been with this program for 2 years, and now he's getting looks from NFL teams.
And said Coach McNair said, had no trouble. He's been a humble kid and a hard worker. If there are any issues there, we haven't seen them at all. We can't imagine what the issues were. And that's what you like to see. So many young men make mistakes between the ages of 18 and 22, 23. Do they learn from their mistakes and become productive members of society? And it seems like that's what the case is with Tim Gardner.
3rd and 12. Footman with all kinds of time. And the defense holds for the Hornets. In on the stop is big number 96.
Footman brought down the backfield by number 96.
Jalen Carson.
Don't let Alabama State get back in this game. Think about it. Footman had the big run, and then they went 3 consecutive pass plays. Pass plays stop the clock on incompletions, and then you get a sack, and now you're going to punt the ball over. This is not the time to try and test your offense. This is the time to deflate that ball, control line of scrimmage, and run it. And now you get a bad punt, so this would be pretty good position for Alabama State. Just like this, if they can respond, they can make this a football game if they get a score right now.
Well, Saturday, the Paul Bunyan Trophy will be on the line at the Big House. It's Michigan State and number 7 Michigan, 7:30 Eastern on ABC. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. And Jay, that was a 29-yard punt. How often do you see that?
I've seen worse, but that's a pretty bad one there at a crucial time. So you're trying to put a team away. Poor time for your punter to shank one, and now Alabama State with a little bit of signs of life.
Will Pearson, his running backs flank to his left and right, and the shotgun. Out to Golden. Golden spins off of one defender. Maybe a pickup of one. Michael Brooks on the stop.
Golden's a guy they really like, the freshman out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Just a freshman, true freshman, getting time in this lineup. They think he can be a difference maker, a la Tariq Cohen-like is how they describe him. We'll see how he progresses in his college career in Montgomery. Everybody wants Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
It's a copycat sport. When one thing's working, you try and imitate that. Everybody at HBCU as well as college football is looking for that next Tariq Cohen.
And to think that he wasn't even looked at because of his size coming out of high school as Ezra Gray once more. And look at this. Big gains on the ground for Ezra Gray and this Hornets offense. They're in the red zone courtesy of that 39-yard run.
Good play selection. If the defensive line doesn't want to get in a three-point stance, then run the football at them. Even though you're down, don't look at the scoreboard. Slice them up for big chunks of yardage. And they're pushing around this defense. Now you see Alcorn make the adjustment, put their D lineman in a three-point stance.
Gray once again finds the hole. And first and goal brought down by LaShawn Ely.
Second and 2.
Correction, 2nd down and 2. And now we're getting a chance, Jay, to see this Alcorn State defense. You know, they didn't have to necessarily show too much in that first half because they weren't necessarily tested. Here they're being pushed. And right now, Gray is having great success on the ground.
Yeah, running the ball, you know, you have the defensive linemen, they were having fun out there. Defensive linemen don't have to get in a three-point stance, can stand up and just rush the passer. That was fun. That's like pass, going after quarterbacks passing. Well, Alabama State made the adjustment, said, hey, let's gas these guys for some big runs. And Ezra Gray has really come in and given them that spark. Great individual efforts, running the football. And now we're starting to see if they can score. I said it could be a very interesting contest. Well, Alabama State's moved the ball. It's going to be a key. Can they finalize the drive?
First half, this Alabama State offense had just 10 total yards. This quarter alone, 154.
You asked me earlier what I think Jenkins said, and whatever he said seemed to work, because there's a fire in the belly of Alabama State now.
Willis White in motion. The handoff to Golden. Golden up the gut. That's a first down and right into the teeth of that Alcorn State defense.
It's like first and goal inside the 5. We know how that drive self-destructed. But in this case, I really like how they're sticking to the run.
The handoff to Golden once again.
Golden to the 3-yard line.
See, when you see Alcorn State's D-line, they're looking like who's getting down in three-point stance. And you'll never see more than 3, but a lot of times 2 of them will. So right now you see the 3 D linemen. You got to be able to run towards that bubble.
Shippey, Smith, and Bell up front. Ezra Gray diving ahead, but a penalty marker on the play.
After a 1-yard gain. Flag on the field.
Offside.
Offside.
Defense.
Too quick.
Number 26. After this to the goal. Second down.
They got there too quick, trying to time up that snap count. Run supporting blitz. You're going to see it come from this side of your screen. These guys trying to time it up, get a running start.
That was close.
I knew he got there quickly.
Called on Quentin Smith. Second and goal.
Keep running. You can't get outside the pocket.
Gray going in between the tackles. Just to the 1-yard line.
Number 34, Alvin Wilson.
And perhaps that will be the final play of the third quarter. Unless they can snap it quickly.
Alabama State finally implemented a quarterback sneak. This week they practiced it all week. They're probably going to do it here. And they didn't execute it. I mean, you never hear a coaching staff talk about something they did. They said, we had to work on quarterback sneak this week for those situations.
False start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
And they get in the game and they can't execute the quarterback sneak. A little bit too anxious, ball not snapped in time. Moving back 5 yards. Oh.
Brian Jenkins, all he could do was shake his head. So that ends the third quarter. But Alabama State driving. Instead, so we'll step aside, 24-7 going into the fourth quarter. Good look at Commerce Street in downtown Montgomery as we head into the fourth quarter. Alcorn State on top, 24-7. Jay Walker, Tiffany Green here with you, and it was all Alcorn State through just about 3 quarters, or at least 2.5, 24-0 before Ezra Gray scored a touchdown in the third, and now the Hornets driving here, trying to make things interesting here in this SWAC East game. Brought down. Big play by Travell Ware, sacking the quarterback, and instead of a touchdown, they'll have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, just unblocked blitzing linebacker on a quarterback draw. He's got him in his targets and brings him down pretty easy for the tackle. And now I think you have to kick the field goal in this situation. Unfortunately, because you had the ball on the 1-yard line.
Hunter Hansen will attempt a 27-yarder. The punter, Trevor Vinson, on the hold. And the field goal is good. So Alabama State down by just 2 touchdowns, as you mentioned earlier. New leadership at the top for the Hornets as Alabama State welcomes in their new president, Quentin Ross.
Yeah, Quentin Ross takes over, alumnus of Alabama State, gave up his position in the Alabama State Senate to become the president of his alma mater, and talk about an opportunity. You had a chance to talk to him before the game, pregame, and he said he's going to do everything to evaluate what's best for the student athletes at Alabama State. Take that to mean one thing or another. but he's been the president here for 3 days on the job, and already we've seen some shake-up a little bit in terms of what they've done at the athletic director position.
Jennifer Lynn Williams named the interim director of athletics after Melvin Hines resigned. She was the deputy director since 2016, and when we talked with Brian Jenkins this week, and again, just not being able to deliver the wins the way he would have liked or fans may have expected. He says, you know what, if they just give me some time, give me a little bit more time, then I can get the program to where it needs to be. Certainly the facilities are already in place with this great football stadium. Jay Simmons on the return, down at just about the 21-yard line.
And you know, it's always tough. You always say, I'm not in the business of getting coaches hired and fired. But I thought it was the perfect hire when Jenkins came. I said, oh my goodness, these facilities here with that brand of football, they're going to be, and I think the rest of HBCU as well as the SWAC, they're worried about the Brian Jenkins era starting. And you know, you just can't, you see it tonight while they struggle a little bit, but they've got a game plan, but it just hasn't gone well. But as we mentioned before, you know, I think the schools with the most expectations are probably Grambling, Southern, and Alabama State. Southern invested in their infrastructure. Alabama State made a huge investment in this place. And when they invest, they have a right to have high expectations.
$64 million has gone into this facility, and Alcorn State, in the last 3 possessions, they had to punt it away. They handed off to Lance Turner, powering ahead for about 4 yards.
And see, this is the facility they're talking about. Nicest one you just find in FCS football. And not a good sign when the stands are a little bit that empty, but you look at the suites there and the club level and the lounges. I've been to a lot of places around the country. And this one tops at 30,000 seat below.
We talk about somewhat of the uncertainty here at Alabama State, some of the disappointment perhaps, and then on the other side you've got Fred McNair, who those in Norman were just happy to welcome in and again see him get his first head coaching college football job. He had been on the high school scene and certainly was an assistant coach under Jay Hobson, but in his second season as the head man, things continuing to look up for the Braves and on the reservation.
Yeah, take advantage of the opportunity given to you. So many people thought when Hobson left that Willie Simmons would be next to get it. Willie Simmons elected to go to Prairie View. So McNair didn't complain about how he got the job. He just took the job and ran with the job. And I think he's doing a good job of running with the program.
McNair name holds so much weight. The pressure from the backside brought by Devin Santana.
Tell you what, this game's going to get interesting. McNair's got to worry about winning this football game all of a sudden, which didn't seem like it was going to be a challenge. They flush him out of the pocket. The footman got to secure that football a little bit better. And now all of a sudden, this Alcorn offense slowed down tremendously. What did they have, 300 yards total offense in the first half? Haven't come close to imitating that here in the second.
4th consecutive punt for the Braves. McCullough gets this one off. Graham finds some running room and then falls down just past midfield. So we'll step aside. Alabama State with an opportunity to come within a touchdown.
ESPN College Football is presented by McDonald's. I'm loving it.
We're in the capital city, Montgomery, Alabama, as the Hornets making things interesting with good field position to start off this drive. 12:03 remaining in the game. Jay, how quickly things change.
Yeah, look, they're going back to this one man on the ground with the defensive line rush. I don't like that. This is where they got gashed. So if I'm Alabama State, I'm running the football. When I see those D linemen running around, walking around like that, smash mouth football, look for a crease with Ezra Gary.
The handoff to Golden. He's met immediately in the backfield by Michael Brooks.
And when they do that, they're just trying to confuse the lineman. So what you have to do is go to a zone blocking scheme. Don't try and block a man, because when they go from one defender to the other, it confuses your offensive line. Block a zone. Almost do a wedge type play and go straight ahead and tell your running back to find a crease.
Loss of 2 brings up second down. Golden in motion. Pearson once again with pressure. He just throws it away, and there's some laundry on the field.
Now another hold. Whenever they bring that pressure with a 3-man rush, the defensive ends have had a pretty good job of getting around the edge and forcing a holding call.
Holding. Offense, number 58. That penalty is declined. Third down.
You're talking about right here. Let's see. You're going to see a speed rush come from here. Lowers the shoulder pads, gets there. He's got a bunch of jersey. They see it.
And Titus Howard has been called for a few holds tonight, the left tackle. And one of the things that Brian Jenkins told us this week was the fact that the O-line needed to set the tone.
Alcorn loves they get you third and long. Look, nobody rushing up the middle of the field. Just linebackers, no D linemen.
Pearson throws it in space. It's incomplete. So 3 and out for the Hornets.
That's going to hurt right there. You got 11 minutes to go in the game. You get the ball in really good field position to start the drive, and you do a 3 and out.
Trevor Vincent has been busy tonight. 6 punts for the senior. And Ely just watches it bounce out of bounds. And the Braves will start things off at the 15-yard line with 11:01 to go. The Mitchell Trubisky era begins in Chicago and will be in the black and blue division for our Week 5 Monday Night Football matchup. It's the Vikings and the Bears at Soldier Field. Our coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown, served by Applebee's at 6 Eastern on ESPN, and the game is also available on ESPN2 in Spanish. And speaking of, you'll see Tariq Cohen suiting up for the Bears.
You can't show those highlights. You got Alcorn State fans watching. They just remember when Tariq and his boys rushed for like 240 in the inaugural Celebration Bowl. That's cruel, Tiffany. That's cruel.
MEAC record, 5,600 plus career rushing yards. The Aggies All-American is second for the Bears in rushing and receiving thus far this season. Electric playmaker he was, as DeLance Turner with the handoff gets some tough yards ahead.
And now I'm nitpicking a little bit, but past couple handoffs that Footman has given to Turner, he hasn't really carried out the footwork you need for that zone read. He's just like, here, you take it. They know it, so they've been able to crash down on him. And I'm pretty sure they're telling him, you want to give the ball to Turner, but you still got to carry out your faith.
You see the starting field position for the Braves this half, less than desired, their own 11-yard line. And again, they've come up empty as of late. Norris Footman directing traffic, finds his man, and they say he caught it. So a reception there from Corbin Johnson.
They're on the run. Throws that ball downfield, and Johnson with a good job going down and getting it.
So 330 yards for this Braves offense in the first half. And you touched on it earlier, Jay. Just about 81 here in the second half. So they slowed down, but the Lance Turner is trying to get them going again. The 11-yard run, and it appears to be an injured Alabama State player on the field.
I saw number 89, Jaquavian Bowles for Alcorn, with a little wipeout block over there on the top half of the screen.
It's tough to see who it is at this point, but Brian Jenkins on the field checking on his player. It's Dennis Roberts.
Tries to make the tackle there. You saw him just leave your picture there. And that was the block. There was 89 Bowles with the block, not allowing Roberts an opportunity to kind of brace the impact of the turf. Good to see him walking off the field.
Redshirt junior out of Miami, Florida. Several players from the Sunshine State, also happens to be the home state of Brian Jenkins.
More than several. There's a lot of Florida on this team.
It's a hotbed of talent for sure.
First and 10, Braves at the 39-yard line.
First and 10, 9.5 to go. Hand off to Turner. Gets good blocking, trucks the defender, and wrapped up by Garnett. Well, Jay, you're a busy man across college football. Tomorrow night, you'll be in Orangeburg, South Carolina, as the Bulldogs host Morgan State. You can catch that right here on ESPNU at 7:30 Eastern.
That's why they invented airplanes. So I'll tell you what, South Carolina State, probably one of the best 1-3 teams in the country. Linebacker Darius Leonard's the real deal. They could have easily won 2 of the 3 games that they've lost. And Morgan State probably played one of the toughest non-conference schedules in FCS football this year. So they're eager to play a MEAC foe. And like I said, it's probably an elimination game. Whoever loses that game is probably not going to make it to the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta.
Buddy Pugh seems like always has great defensive players that churned out to the NFL.
That offense gets in the way sometime.
So now we're seeing a steady dose of DeLance Turner, much of what you wanted to see, Jay, earlier in this game, because they had so much success with the run in the first half.
Yeah, but, you know, like we mentioned, the offense kind of fell apart since then, so it slowed down. They're not blowing them off the ball. And now it's funny, you're seeing Alabama State go with 7-man defensive boxes, so they're saying, well, now's when you should throw the ball. This is when you call those wide receiver bubble screens, but take this third down right here. This could be the last hurrah for Alabama State's defense. They need to stop in an urgent way.
Look there at Fred Caius, the Alcorn State offensive coordinator. He prides himself on balance. The play selection this half, 19 run plays compared to just 2 passing plays. That one tipped up in the air, very dangerous, and knocked down. So the Hornets defense hold once again.
When you talk about a tale of 2 halves, this offense was on fire. Here in the second half, they haven't scored a point across midfield just once. And the Hornet defense is trying to give this offense an opportunity to get back in this football game. I'd come after it. I'd go for a punt block in this situation.
McCullough gets underneath that one. And Graham is down at the 12-yard line. So still a chance for the Hornets, but they've got to strike quickly with 7.5 to go.
31.
Big game on Saturday, but of course Alabama State trying to come up with their first win of the season. They're down by 2 touchdowns, starting in their own territory as Golden on the carry. It's outside for no gain.
When Alabama State was able to move the ball, they didn't move it throwing the football. They didn't get it sideline to sideline. They ran in the middle of the defense. When Alcorn State goes to those stand-up linemen, you got to bust them. You got to get underneath their shoulder pads and make them pay. And I think that's one where George Gold, the freshman, is trying to bounce it. You know, Ezra Gray in the backfield, he's like, I'm going to run up the middle. That's what you have to do. They're giving you the interior run. You just have to take and be more aggressive than they are.
Back to pass. Pearson holds on to it, eludes the pressure, gets out of the pocket, chases the sticks, comes up just short. But a good scamper out, brings up 3rd down on the 7-yard gain.
Young legs. Young legs not recognizing the blitz is coming. They just didn't bring him down. And he's able to take a negative play and pick up positive yards and make it 3rd and short.
Clock continuing to wind down. Alabama State needing a relatively quick score here to see if they can get within 1, but instead being drug out of bounds. And what a play by Terry Whittington. A loss of 12.
Once again, and the helmet comes off. You see, once a quarterback gets outside of the pocket, you're not going to outrun Whittington. He's 6'5", 235 pounds.
Back to the 9-yard line. 4th down and 11.
That was a strong man move right there. 4th and 13, and the Hornets have to punt it away.
Taylor Walker, that's deep for the Braves.
Yeah, that probably was their last stand there. They had the ball, got the ball back, but now they're going to punt it away. And the delayed game penalty comes up on special teams, not getting the punt off in time. And you have to think that this time around, Alcorn can get the ball in good field position, probably have the ability to run a lot of clock, if not score another touchdown.
Ball spotted at the 4-yard line, it's 4th down.
Short punt. Walker gets it just at a 30-yard line. And he's brought down by a host of Hornets. Well, Alcorn State, we mentioned some of the great players on the field and Fred McNair. How about Medgar Evers, the famed alumnus and civil rights activist and All-American football player for the Braves.
Yeah, you know, and I made a vow. For so many years, I always said I will never do an Alcorn State game without talking about Aaron McNair, because we played against each other. I was my rival and everything. But Medgar Evers is a guy I said I'm always going to talk about him as well because of his importance to the university as a whole. And he's a great football player, too. I think that goes under the radar a lot of times. That Medgar Evers, who made the ultimate sacrifice, was a football player at Alcorn State University. So a couple years ago, I did a Gimme 5, and I said number 1 is not Steve Aaron McNair. It was Medgar Evers, and I didn't catch a lot of slack for that.
Absolutely. Mississippi native who worked to overturn segregation at Ole Miss and worked on voting rights and social justice for all, as P.J. Simmons with the big game, assassinated at just 37 years old, as Simmons picks up 14 yards. When you think about some of the great players that have come through Alcorn State, Fred McNair, Steve McNair, Donald Driver, both of those two actually candidates for the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2018.
Got some other good names
Jimmy
on
Giles.
there. Jimmy, there you go, Jimmy Giles. How about the Untouchables? You don't remember the Untouchables? That was wide receiver core. I think it was C.C. Tillman and I can't remember the other guy's name, but Marcus Hinton, big 6'6" tight end, played for the Raiders for a while. Ball's on the ground.
Fumble and a big play as the Hornets come up with it. So how about it? The Hornets defense coming up with the fumble recovery. Joshua Hill comes up with the recovery, and the first turnover of the game, as bringing the pressure was big number 42, Jarkeith Ruffin.
Yeah, a little bit of indecision, and you put that squarely on the quarterback. You're responsible for protecting the football, hesitates, doesn't have a chance to tuck the football away. Ball on the ground, and hold up, Alabama State. It's another chance to try and cut into this lead.
Dominic Jackson was the one who came up with the fumble recovery.
Torrance Smalls guys right there. Torrance Smalls, C.C. Tillman, those guys were the untouchables.
Now the 21-yard line. And the pass out to Willis White. And the Hornets offense has got to move quickly.
Play 4 yards. Second down and 6 from the 25.